Texas, Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5 FM, The Wake Up Guyana Show.
Golden Harvest aniseed bread plus pepper pot equals the perfect Guyanese tradition at Christmas. So make sure you pick up your Golden Harvest aniseed bread from any Demico outlet or your favorite outlet nationwide this Christmas. Golden Harvest bread, fresh and delicious. That's why everybody wants a piece of it.
Tired of changing your baby's clothes? We have the perfect solution. Sleepy denim diapers, giving you that fashionable denim look throughout the day with the same soft touch. Look cool, look hip, rock in style with Sleepy jeans.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome once again to the Wake Up Guyana Show here on Kaieteur Radio. It is a beautiful day out there, and wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, I hope that you're having a wonderful day. If you're cooking in your kitchen, if you're rocking in a hammock, if you're in your minibus or in a truck somewhere in the Bagnam, there, farming, whatever it is that you're doing, we want to wish you a good day today, a blessed day, a successful day, a day that is productive. And we coming to you live here from our studio here on Sapon Street, Charlestown, Georgetown. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie. You tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show. We also coming to you live on 99.1 if you're in Esquimalt and Demerara. And in Berbice, you could catch us on 99.5. I want to say good day to those folks who tuned in to us right now from overseas. Whatever it is that you're doing, whether it is in the evening, in the afternoon, I hope that you too are having a wonderful day. We have many things to talk about today. At about 1:30, 1:35, we are going to be tuned in with an assistant superintendent of police, and he's in charge of these bank traffic. That is Jermaine Harper. And we're going to be talking about traffic on these banks. We're going to be talking a little about Road Safety Week and any other thing that come to the head as we have our conversation as to what is happening. Because, you know, traffic is a big thing in Guyana, not only with the lawlessness on the road, but the fact that it is Road Safety Week. Should we have every year, every year we celebrate the Road Safety Week, and then you see some deaths, and it's shocking to say the least, some of the things that are happening on the roadways. It is a time that we stop the talk and start the actions. Well, we don't know. What we do know is that we cannot continue in the same vein, along the same path that we would have been walking over the years. It's about time to wake up and smell the coffee, because this is a Wake Up Guyana show, and you know we don't do things normal like everybody else do. We say things as it is, we call it as it is, even if it means criticizing ourselves. So we get right down into business today. It is November the 25th, 2020, and this is what you need to know from your favorite newspaper in Guyana today. James Bond arrested in Peters Hall land giveaway probe, and you would recall that the story broke yesterday. Senior official within the People's National Congress reform and he's being held. He's also an attorney at law. Don't forget that, which is a very unusual situation again. An attorney at law being held in custody. He has remained in custody according to the information that we have, and they have until 72 hours to hold him. You know, the law could be an ass at times, as they would say. So the law could work for you and work against you. But that situation is developing. As you're aware, he's been investigated with the acquisition and then the subsequent suspicious sale of those lands. He was given, or the company, two companies received lands on the East Bank of Demerara. And if you want to know how strange the situation is, try to acquire some plots of land on the East Bank of Demerara, especially if you're going between Eccles going on to Diamond there. It is millions of dollars. So happens to company would have received large plots of lands worth hundreds of millions of dollars at just a few million, just $1 million or $2, and then they flipped it and made millions of dollars. And the attorney at law who put it together, who was said to be the mastermind, is no other than James Bond. This thing is, I hope that it is not true that that the police are going along on a wild goose chase here, because it is unbelievable. It is abominable that we could have these kind of deals while our people are struggling to even receive a plot of land to build a house. You have to literally jump through hoops. You have to call somebody. You have to have sleepless night, and of course you have to go down there to the what you call the Central Housing and Planning Authority there on Brick Dam. You might have to go to those housing expos, and you might have to call a friend who know a friend to see whether they could probably put you in an application and put you on a waiting list. 50,000 plus applications there at the Central Housing and Planning Authority. That is the story there. That is what we need to talk about. How does one person benefit as against the other? Well, as it develops, two and three sides to every story, I want to see where the story would progress to. So the main headline in Kaieteur newspaper today: Canadian hired to review Exxon's $9 billion PIR project to benefited from dollars from Exxon subsidiary. Let me tell you what it simply means. You have a man come to your backyard, or let's say you have a piece of gold land, and the man says, I believe you have a gold in it. Many times we would have spoken with it, but this is for the benefit of somebody who doesn't understand what we're talking about. So this man tells you he's going to develop this land. This man comes here, he finds gold in that land, wants to develop it, and then he comes back and says, look, this is what it's going to cost you. Now, you don't have any idea what those costs are. When he hands you that bill, and you don't check that bill, you have to take whatever that person tell you is. He says, look, I have to buy 2 tractors, 2 combines, 2 excavators, 2 generators. I have to pay 20 staff. I have to pay for gas. I have to pay for ration. You know what ration is in Guyana, right? So you don't check it, and the man hands you a bill for $300 million. You would be an idiot to pick that up and say that is the right thing. You have to check it back. So we have been handed a bill for the third phase of the ExxonMobil discovery development on the Exxon Stabroek block. That's the forest block that's been developed there that we would have started seeing the production as of December last year. It's going to be 1 year in December next month since we've started production. And so this third phase is a $9 billion. We would have gotten through the Canadian, a big official, a politician there, with very little record of her doing any kind of work. And she did, within a couple of weeks, she did a review of this $9 billion bill that Guyana was handed, that we have to pay for before you even start pumping some oil. People say you already have a bill there. And so we did have this lady come down here. She did it. Now, when you check the lady background, the lady's background, it shows that she would have been receiving money from Exxon. So who was she really working for? That's what the story is saying here in the Kaieteur newspaper today. Get a read of it. Get your copy of the Kaieteur, or you could go online, Kaieteur News online, and read the story there. Why should you know about it? Because when you complain about you don't have any money, that things are hard, that you want to know what happens to $25,000, which I'm going to be telling you about in a very little while. as well as GCOM ID cards. Trio gets 11 and a half years for killing Bihari group engineer. This was a very brutal case. Young boy, the only son for the family who went to UG, come back, and he was just going home, and they brackled him. This about 2 3 years back in front of his Prashad Nagar home, Delphi, I think Delhi Street, and Prashad Nagar. And they tried to rob him, he tried to run away. They pumped about 4 bullets into him. He died. Now the three of them are before the courts yesterday, 11 and a half years. I don't know how Gildarie would have handled a situation like that. Somebody who's very, very close to me, somebody who would have died in such a brutal manner. I'm not sure whether I would have been taken or accepting 11 and a half years. But the boys did plead guilty. I understand that they apologized and so on. I'm not sure how much of a comfort is that. But at the end of the day, there was some jail time, and it comes that they would have been in jail for some time awaiting the trial. So these were cases that has some very harsh lessons to the people of Guyana. And so we continue. Guyana may introduce a visa system for Haiti soon. And you could recall just more than a year back, this newspaper here, Kaieteur newspaper, would have done an investigation. We would have been seeing and hearing reports. It seems that nobody else in Guyana is not worried about this. We having thousands of Haitians, Cubans coming into here, and you don't know where to go in. And it seems as if the authority back in those days was not even concerned about this entire entry. We did, Gildarie did, and a couple of people from the Kaieteur News was working on the story. When you go down to the airport, there were literally hundreds of persons coming in every week. Where were they going? Were they coming to Guyana? We were investigating. Were they coming to Guyana? It so happened that the story come that everybody was coming here using Guyana as a jumping off point to go to Brazil and wherever else it is that they're going. So Guyana there was an organized gang or organized set of group that was bringing the people from Haiti, collecting money. People here were being paid off. People were using transportation, transporting them along the Linden Lethem Road, along to Brazil there to take them across there. And our people were not very familiar. The airport was locked for a couple of morning from March to now. There is, how you say it, control flights coming through the airport. And so they allow these people to come in back into the country, and then all of a sudden, children, everybody coming in. There was a raid recently because look as if the authorities start paying attention now. I'm not sure if it's because of different government or the police just decide to wake up. They raided, and then they found 7 children headed to Brazil in a minibus. Guess what? They're not related to the adults that were also in the minibus. So the question there that has to be asked, were they being trafficked? Because if you're not related, who's looking after these children there? So Guyana, under the CARICOM agreement and so on, would have been allowing the Haitians and the Cubans to come to Guyana because it's part of our, this regional integration process. But the Guyana government, through Robertson Ben, the Minister of Home Affairs, would be saying now we want to introduce a visa system because we need to control. And this is something that we've been talking about. You need to control who's coming into your borders. If you want to come work here, you have to get a work permit. There is rules and regulations all over the world. The Great America does it. Canada, Britain, all over the place. St. Martin, Trinidad, you just can't go just like that. Although there is the free movement skill certificate that you get through the CARICOM headquarters and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here. There are rules and regulations and rules of engagements here that you should know about, that we have to talk about. Well, of course, Mr. Ali, President Ali, Irfan Ali, he has led a delegation to Suriname. It's a big thing being seen by Guyana because, there are thousands of Guyanese living in Suriname. It is for the Barbicians, many Barbicians, getting across the Suriname is like you coming down to Georgetown, jump on a boat, get across the Kaieteur, you go down to Paramaribo, your next day into Berbice back again. And this pandemic would have been closing that border there. But what Guyana is interested in right now is that they've signed an agreement, and we're about to sign a deal with the Suriname government for a bridge across the Quarantine River, which is going to link Guyana to Suriname. And let me tell you what it's going to do. We already linked with a bridge across Brazil. So you could drive, let's say there's a road along there. You could drive, it's a bad road though, the Linden Latham Road. You could head straight across there, and then come and then head straight into Suriname when that bridge comes. The two government, Irfan Ali, and would have been talking to President Santoki there over the last 2 days. The First Lady as well as the President landed there on Monday in Suriname, and they're having talks. And so the idea is to create a whole free zone and so around the bridge area, which they're hoping they have already selected a place somewhere down along the Quarantine River there that links that would where they're going to put the bridge, and they're going to open up that whole area there for a free zone trading area, and they're setting up a council between the two countries. So this is a very, very good thing. And in any case, for those people who are interested with the ferry service, they're busy talking right now in how they could open it, like how they open the airplane service, the plane services with the CGI and Ogle, that planes could come here, commercial flights. Ferry service would have to be some kind of a resolution there that's going to see people taking the COVID-19 tests and so on. And let's see where that goes. Man dies after mishap at truck during East Bank Demerara 3-lane traffic. And we are going to be talking about this to Assistant Superintendent Mr. Harper in a very short while, about 1:30, 1:35 thereabouts, about what is happening in the East Bank, because it looks as if a lot of people are not very aware. And so the police did publish a notice yesterday rather, in the newspaper, on social media about that, and I'm going to be reading that about to you in a very short while as to what they're saying about the 3-lane and the East Bank Road at peak hours in the morning, in the evening, what you should be aware of, and so you would not see a replay of that situation. I think this person here has been identified now. He's living somewhere up in Georgetown, but he was in the Agricola area there, had no idea that it was 3-lane, walked into he believed that it was heading in one direction. He walked into the path of this vehicle, which is going the opposite direction because of the a temporary 3-lane system that is in there for peak periods to reduce the traffic congestion. He died a couple hours later. They're very tragic. These are mistakes that could be there's an example of how mistakes could be deadly for the gentleman in this particular case. Could we have done something more? Well, that is the question that we will have to ask the policeman when he comes here in a very short while. He's going to be joining us via Zoom. We are going to be standing by. So it's just about 1:20 thereabouts. We have a couple of headlines to go through. New York-bound Guyanese woman busted at CGI with coke, stash, and book makeup. So there was a hollowed out section with book and makeup. She came to Suriname. A Guyanese live in Suriname. Came here and jumped on a plane before she was going to go on the plane for New York JFK Airport. They held her and they found these drugs. The police know who are the ones because there's a way that they carry themselves. In any case, police act on information a lot too, and so by the time you go to the airport, they're expecting you. And in this particular case, she is in custody at the moment. So it was in the book covers. It was in makeup, and there was a whole bunch of other stuff. It's about 2 kilos. 2 kilos, about what? Just about $2 million, under $2 million thereabouts. U.S. company setting up shore base here, and this is, I think, Baker Hughes, all the way from the U.S. Set up operations here. They want to build a onshore facility that is going to be taking off, ships and so could dock. I think it's the Land of Canaan area. And, Kaieteur News has been doing a lot of research as to who come in here and so on. In this particular case, you have Baker Hughes, the company that is coming here. They have a track record of bribing politicians, customs. It's a very sordid history there that you would see. And as we speak there too, you would know that the head of the Guyana Lands and Survey, Trevor Ben, would have received his marching orders. He was sent on leave, and then his services terminated. This news came out yesterday. All that is in the Kaieteur News of today newspaper. So we're just going to flick through it very, very quickly. Authorities, this is an interesting story for those people who believe that the court system is long drawn out. Authorities push for more plea bargaining And this is something that could reduce costs. This is according to Leonard, the Attorney General of Guyana. He's saying that it's a mechanism that resides in our laws right now, and we need to use it a little more, because what it does, it reduces the amount of court time. It reduces the wastage of time by the magistrate and other court facilities, personnel there, lawyers and so on. If you could plea bargain and just come to a quick settlement of this matter, whether it's a shorter jail sentence or something, we should be going in that direction. And in any case, what they're doing, you could know, if you're familiar with the magistrate court, how it's operating. You have police prosecutors right now, and they're coming up against lawyers who are very smart, who have money, who have time on their hands. And the government wants to change all of that. They're saying we're going to hire people with degrees and put them to work as frontline prosecutors, and the police are going to be assisting them. So this is something that I think this is a very good move. I've complained about the quality of our prosecutor. With all due respect, we had some very good prosecutors who would have come through the police force, eventually become lawyer. But the quality, the police are overwhelmed at the moment. They can't put together those cases and have time, and there are always the accusation that police taking bribes and things like that. And so prosecutors also, not calling names, so whatever I'm saying here, I'm just saying what Gildarie would have heard and what is the word on the road. People taking bribes. It's an age-old rumor that you would have been seeing there. Cabinet to review bill to remove jail time for small quantities of ganja. Let's see where that goes. And of course, traffic lights include song signals for visually impaired. And this is something when you're moving into a modern society and you're not seeing too well, you can't see the lights and so on, and you have signals that's coming there to tell the person whether you move or you go or so on. This is something that's good. I like that. Berbice has another COVID-19 death. We have gone to 147 right now. And very, very quickly, before we go into any other thing, let me just call the numbers, because I need you to wake up and smell the coffee, right? Folks, you need to wake up and smell the coffee, because these are the figures as of yesterday presented by the Ministry of Health to the people of Guyana. Number of confirmed cases in Guyana since March, 5,189 persons who were tested positive for COVID-19. Number of new cases yesterday, 35. Number of persons in the COVID-19 ICU, 7. Total confirmed cases by male infected, 2,693. Look as if the men are a little more, definitely, the men are a little more careless than the women. Or is it because they're working more than the women? I'm not sure. There could be a variety of factors. Total confirmed case by gender, women, 2,496, just under the 2,500 there. Number of persons in institutional isolation, 72. Home isolation, 766. So there's a lot of people home isolation. What are you doing? Are you at home right now? Are you COVID-19 positive? Have you tested positive for the coronavirus? Are you staying at home? Are you breaking the regulations? Are you keeping social distancing? Are you protecting the other ones in the home? Very important. I mean, these are a major cause of concern. Are you out? Nobody knows, and you're there shopping in the supermarket, you're there in the minibus, going somewhere, getting away, hoping that nobody pays attention. We know that happens. You got to be very careful. If you know of somebody who is like that, you need to report it. Number of persons tested for COVID-19 so far, 28,160. And so you could know that the number of cases worldwide, 58.9 million persons so far tested positive for this worldwide. Number of deaths worldwide, almost 1.4 million persons died. This is not no jokey pandemic. It closed the entire world. It stopped the world. Number of confirmed cases in America is $25 million. Number of deaths in America is 702,584. So those are interesting figures there. Let me see what else. If there's anything, we comment on very quickly to just about 1:30 thereabout. Do we have any? Okay, 587 Guyanese re-employed at a Chinese run Aurora gold mines here. This is good news. A lot of people would have lost a job there. Anna Regina's deputy mayor dies from COVID-19 complications. All this in your favorite newspaper, Kaieteur newspaper. Best friend granted bail as mom lays son to rest. This is a 15-year-old shot in head. You could recall this very shocking story that broke our heart. Little boy, handsome little kid, Rocky Saw, went across his friend to have a sleepover. Had his whole life. His mom there is grieving right now. She wants answers. The son is on a couple of $100,000 bail there, while his boy was laid to rest over the weekend. So, and the police would have issued warnings that those people who have guns, firearms is issued to them, a licensed firearm. Ensure that when you go home, you have a safe place to put it. Your children can't get it. Nobody can have access. You only have access to it. So I want you to know, please, the school vouchers distribution taken to Region 10. And so these are the big stories that you should know. Get your copy of the Kaieteur newspaper today. Guyana's largest selling daily newspaper. And it is the stories that you need to know. Very quickly, let me tell you what are some of the stories that you should also know before we go to a break, and then we come back with our guest here at the Kaieteur News. We are having no other than Assistant Superintendent Jarman Harper. He's in charge of the East Bank traffic situation there from Georgetown. From I think let me see. He's going to tell us in a little while. But right along the East Bank there, it's a big task because that's the busiest road in the entire country. This morning, I would have been speaking to the GCOM chair, Claudette Singh, and I did ask her about these ID cards that we have right now. She's saying that if you want an ID card, if you've applied for it, if you signed up for it during the house-to-house, you could check with the nearest registration center of GCOM within your area. If you want a new ID card, please check with them also. They could be able to advise you. So persons would have been asking about that. Go to your registration center in your area there and find out what's happening there. They happen to have ID cards for those persons who would have applied and they would have been approved. Those who want new ID cards now, you've lost it or something, you could still check with them and they could advise you how is the timeline with it. We're in the pandemic mode right now, so they're very careful in what they're doing. It's Road Safety Week. What are you doing to protect yourself on the road? Are you driving as crazy as ever, or is it that we're doing things the same way, the same place, same mad drivers with the same Guinness in the hand, no mask, in and out of traffic? You got to be crazy, and you as passengers got to be extremely mad to subject yourself to that. I want to say good day to the Fort Island people, Esquimalt River, and all those people along the Esquimalt River, Bartica, Wakenham, Leg One, and if I miss a Hog Island, and Sloat Island, and wherever you are, I want to say good day to you. It is the insurance time, and if you want to talk about fender benders, get your free coverage up to $250,000 today. Full coverage at CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. at 121 Regent and Arnock Street. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. We are going to take a break right now. When we're back, we're going to be joining Assistant Superintendent of Police in charge of traffic on the East Bank, Jarman Harper. And we're going to be talking about traffic situation. We're going to be talking about Road Safety Week. Stay tuned. Do not leave us. Do not touch that dial.
Imagine up to $500,000 cash in your hand. Shop at Singer from now to December 21 and win your share of $2 million. Spend $20,000 or more and be one of 4 winners of $250,000 each. Plus, 2 lucky shoppers will each win $500,000. Get cash in your hand for the Christmas at Singer with 6 months, no interest, and up to 36 months to pay. Singer at home worldwide.
Nice up your home for Christmas at Singer. Spend $20,000 or more between now and December 21st and be one of 4 winners of a Singer 55-inch Ultra HD television. Singer at home worldwide.
Kaieteur Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. You're tuned in. You're live. We're coming to you from our studio live here in Charleston, in Saffron Street, Charleston. I want to say good day to you wherever you join us from. And right about now, we are going to be connecting to our guests for today. As you know, we have promised you some guests. I did speak to a minister last evening in Niger Damlal, so we're hoping to bring him on the show sometime. He's going to tell us what's happening in the regions, and we are going to be telling you about $25,000 cash grant and so on in a very short while. I would have learned over the last couple hours. But in the meantime, we are going to be connecting here to Assistant Superintendent of Police Jarman Harper, and he's in charge of traffic along the east bank of Demerara there. And what we want to talk about today, because traffic is a very important thing, especially to the people along the east bank of Demerara and the west bank of Demerara. The east bank has been one of the main corridor of traffic along there. It's a very critical area. Anything happens, a traffic accident or anything, it could literally stop activities along the east bank there for hours. So I want to say to you that we would have seen over the last couple of days a very tragic accident there. I think on Monday, a man not aware that there was a 3-lane system in place. They've been doing that. The authorities have been doing that for a little while, and it's done. The 3-lane system is introduced at peak period in the morning, in the afternoon, in order to ease the traffic congestion. So in the morning, the rush hour is headed to Georgetown mostly. So they open between the bridge, some parts between the Harbor Bridge, Peters Hall there, to the Houston area there, to a 3-lane traffic. And then in the afternoon, it's almost the same thing from Houston going on to the Harbor Bridge there, headed back. It's a 3-lane. And even on the Harbor Bridge, they close the traffic. You can't come across the Harbor Bridge if you coming from the West Bank in the afternoon, because they shut it off to allow the westbound traffic from the Georgetown area from across the East Bank to go across to the West Bank area there. So that has been something. So we got to be very, very careful. Are there some things in the meantime with the absence of another road that we can do to ease the traffic on the East Bank? Well, I do believe that we could do a couple of things to streamline that, and that is what we want to talk to our representative there of the Guyana Police Force. As I always said, there's some good, decent policemen who wants to see things run the right way. However, it's a work in progress. We have to ensure that we all put our hands on deck, put our shoulders to the wheel when it comes to moving this country forward, when it comes to doing the right thing. It's not just the police alone, because the police could be about a couple of 100 yards down the road, and the madness is happening right here by the traffic lights. And you could go, there's a couple places along the East Bank there by the DSL turn. If you're headed along Mandela Avenue, turning to go to that bypass to the East Bank Road there, that DSL turn there, madness happens there. When you go to the Eccles traffic light there by that overhead pass, there is also am I seeing him? Are you seeing him? Could we put Mr. Harper on? Yes, so we are going to be tuning into Mr. Harper in just a few moments. Just bear with us here. But what I could tell you, in the meantime, while we get in him, we are going to be telling you about what the people are saying on our 6222222. You could send us those messages to the WhatsApp number, or you could SMS us those messages. And this is what the people are saying to the people of Guyana today. Sir, good day to you, your Boston listeners. You must know that the Wake Up Guyana show and the Glenn Lal show has changed lots of people thinking about the future, and for sure we know where we're going. My contribution today is that all these high-rise buildings in the city, signs are proving that the city is sinking over time. And what are we going to do? What are we doing to prevent this? I was on Regent Street between Camp and Wellington Street. I saw a humongous 7-story building going up. I'm curious as to who owns that building. In the 60s, I heard about the 4-story building. Oh my God, 7-story and going. May God help us to think positive. It was the owner of Babel that makes the language. Thank you. Blessings to that. Thank you very much for that. If I tell you who owns that building, you'd be most amazed. It is the Glenlyle family that owns that building. I have none to hide here, and I think if he's here, he's going to tell you. So that in itself is irony to the biggest extent. 7 story between Wellington there and Camp Street there. It's a 7 story building, big, humongous building, and he's boasting with very little money there that he would have been able to build that building to 7 story. He wants to tell that story too, but we're going to talk about that. That's another story for another day. In the meantime, we do happen to have with us Jermaine Harper, Assistant Superintendent in charge of traffic on the East Bank of Demerara. Good day to you, Mr. Harper. How you doing? Are you hearing me, sir? I don't think he is hearing. Are you hearing me, sir? I think the connection is a little bad there. In the meantime, while we trying to get him, I'm not sure. Do we happen to have him or have we lost him? Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Harper. Are you hearing us? Could you unmute the mic if you're hearing us? I'm good. In the meantime, I think we have lost him there. We are going to come back to him because I really want to talk to him about that. Good afternoon, Uncle Leonard. This is Angelina Manny from Cornelia Idea. I want to say, the person want to say, my mom and dad listens every day to your program. Thank you very much there. Let me see, Angelina Manny. I think we are back with our assistant superintendent. Are you there, Mr. Harper? Hello?
Yes, I'm here, sir. I'm here.
Okay, thank you very much. We
Yes,
lost
I'm
you there.
here.
Yes, we lost you there. We're not getting visual, but that's okay. In the meantime, I want to say welcome to the Wake Up Guyana show here. And I know that at first word when I called you, I think 2 days back, you said, yes, I'm going to come on the program because it's a very important week. We know that it's a road safety week and we are celebrating it at the moment. Is there anything to celebrate right now with road safety, sir?
There's always much to celebrate, but the only sad part about it is that, the lives that has been lost on our roadway, and we keep embarking and keep talking to persons because remember now, road safety is not just the police business, it's everybody's business, and every person needs to play a part, whether it's the stakeholders, whether the friend, whether the family. And if we don't do this all together, we would never be able to having all those smiling days that we're looking forward to. But there is still much that we can look forward and say that, that we have done much, we have tried our best, but there's still more to be done, so that persons could understand is that they are in the fight with us together.
I thank you very much. What are we looking at? The numbers. Let's talk a little numbers. I'm not sure whether you're aware, if you're aware what the numbers are on these bank or countrywide. So could you tell us what we're looking at so far for the year
Yeah,
comparatively?
definitely. I can tell you offhand, we have an increase in the country in fatalities, but I can tell you directly for the East Bank is that we're at a minus 12 at present, but we have an increase in fatalities by 21% and serious accident by 22%. You understand? But we have overall we have a decrease.
Have we been able to do disaggregation, meaning have we been able to analyze some of those figures and see where those accidents are taking place, who's involved, whether it's minibus, it's car, it's happening in the hinterlands? Do we have an idea?
Yeah, definitely. I can say holistically is that in our country at present, 75% of our fatalities for this year is by motorcycles. While on the East Bank it differs, is that on the East Bank we look at our trends and patterns and at our statistics, and we are seeing is that some of our block spot areas, like for example, Tamari, Craig, Herstellin, Providence, we recognize that for this year the trends have changed. And that has happened because that, the pattern of accident has taken a different turn. A lot of our accidents that we have on the East Bank for this year is where there's a lot of inattentiveness, driving on the influence, and we find a lot of persons that would just ride on the roadway, fall down, knock their head, they would die. And a lot of our matters, have gone for advice and return, and they return as request because we find that a lot of persons have either rode off the roadway and collided with some tree. A lot of freak accidents we had on the East Bank for this year. But where it comes to enforcement and enforcing the laws, where persons are driving on the East Bank of Demerara, we can say clear off the bodies that we have that under control, but still there are some errant drivers that continue to do exactly what they want to do. Or we have systems in place to deal with that.
Oh, great, great, great. And one of the things, and before I want to come to you about a different way, maybe recertification of license, because that has been something that's up in the air. There's a couple of things that people would have been talking about that the police could do a little more in terms of monitoring. And I want to bring you to one or a couple of areas that is seems to be some bottlenecks or problem areas. The Harbor Bridge area there, the Eccles traffic light area there, the DSL traffic light by the Mandela by the
Well, you
bypass.
see,
Go ahead.
well, it's important, it's always important to have more police presence wherever there is traffic congestion or wherever there's a flow of traffic. But the problem that we're having with Mandela at present is that there comes some construction work that is going on at Mandela there, which makes the road even smaller and which also put a lot of derelicts and potholes and all these things on the roadway itself. So you find is that the traffic will take a longer time to actually get through from point A to point B. But there are ranks there that are doing their work, motorcyclists that will traverse up and down. But yet still, you will see these errand drivers that believe that they don't want to wait in a particular line of traffic that is trickling too slow. They want
Yes, so we having a bad connection there at the moment, but what we have here right now is the assistant superintendent of the East Bank corridor there in charge of traffic, Jarman Harper. Are you with us today, sir? I think we're getting some bad connections there. My apologies. We are going to continue to try to connect back to him, or let us see when he comes on. If you're listening to me, sir, as soon as you come on, just say hi. He is talking to us remotely away from our studio here. Are you there with us, sir? Hello. Okay, so we're gonna wait there. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. I'm gonna read some messages in the meantime while we make some connections there to the assistant commissioner, assistant superintendent, charge of traffic for the East Bank. There, we're talking to him about the traffic situation along the East Bank as well as Road Safety Week. It's very important because there's a couple of things that we want to know and maybe suggest to the good policeman there on behalf who's acting on behalf of the Guyana Police Force. Tell us what is happening and what we could give us part of our recommendations, and we are going to wait him to get on back to us. Do we have him online? Are you there, Mr. Harper? Hello.
Yes, I'm here, sir. I'm here.
Yes, our apologies here.
Yes,
We
I'm
got
here,
cut off.
sir. I'm
Good.
here.
Good. All right. Good. So we were talking
That's okay.
about those bottlenecks area, like the DSL area, like the Eccles area, wrong by the Harbor Bridge area there. You were telling us about the potholes and about the construction, but I'm talking more specifically that you see a lot of undertaking, overtaking, 5 lanes of traffic at some points. How do you deal with that? Is there something somebody looking at that? Because every day you see the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we have been getting a lot of complaints, and there is an open Facebook page on the police page that we ask person that when persons actually commit these infringement to just snap the vehicle numbers and just send it to us. We have dealt with a lot of these errand drivers because you find that when the traffic is heavy and other persons are obeying the law, you have some that would come on the outside, inside, outside, in the corners, because they want to get to where they want to fast another person. So we have dealt with a lot of them. A lot of persons have called in, they've given number, they've come forward, give statements. We want to thank them for that because, like I said before, road safety is everybody's business. And if we just stay inside and mind our own business, we're not going to be able to catch all these errand drivers. But with the help of the public at large out there, they're going to assist us great. And we will continue to prosecute them. We will
Absolutely.
continue because it is something that happens every single day. Now, since we bury our heads in the sand,
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Well, I like that. I like that. I like the fact that we have a recognition of that. Do we have enough ranks, or is it that we stress for ranks for the number of ranks to put on the roads?
we do have enough ranks to manage our traffic situation, but there's always need for more ranks. Remember now, police is a word used in the general sense. We have to make sure besides traffic, We have to deal with every situation that may occur in the country. So even if there's a traffic situation, something more serious happened at that time with the police, we still have to attend to it. But there's always need for more, to assist in the traffic situation. And we also need to understand is that while we have over 16, 20,000 plus vehicles that are already in our country, a year even more going, we actually have no new roads to divulge these traffic differently. So you find is that everybody is using the same road at the same time to get to the same place or even further. So you find is that the traffic will move a little slow at times, and we will have some bottlenecks at some areas.
Yes, I thank you for that, and I think that's an understatement. A little slow. It's almost full to a dead stop at times. But we happen to have some key areas along the East Bank there, some cameras and things like that. How has that been working in terms of catching some motorists who might believe that they're above the law or breaking the laws? Have you been
Yes,
able to use
definitely.
it to catch a lot of people, send tickets to them and so?
Yes, those cameras are helping us a lot. Those cameras are helping us a lot. And that's what people need to understand is that even if you see a person on the outskirt or a driver that you might have driving badly on the road, even if they don't get you, the cameras will because the cameras are very clean along the east path. So when a driver commits an infringement, we will just get onto the camera room, just give them the time, and they will find good for us and number very quick. They will feed us back as to what happened and show us exactly what took place by video analysis. And we'll take it from there, we'll prosecute them. Sometimes when you actually pull some of them in, they deny all the way. And when you show them the actual video as to what they did, they left with their mouth open. They can't believe it. But the cameras are helping us a lot. Great help.
Great. And in terms of the number of tickets that, let's say, that the cameras would have generated, that are we posting it to the homes, or how are we dealing with that?
Well, definitely what we do. Sometimes what we find happen to some of these offenses that are committed, like infringements on the road, like if a vehicle was leaving a dangerous position or a driver driving a manner dangerous to the public, they basically are not ticket offenses. What we will find after we will gather the information and we will run the information through the license office system and find it as for the owner. The owner will then have to produce the driver that was driving at that time and place now, and we will take it from there, either by the way of summons and after summoning them for them to attend the closest court date so that they can answer to the charge of the offense that they have committed.
Absolutely. And sir, one of the key areas, and I know that the Diamond Road head and so on has been a major issue, and I know that police are there every single day, and they're doing a fantastic job with that small road that they have, a very narrow road that can't even take the traffic. How are the police handling like minibus drivers? Let's talk about the minibus. A lot of people would have been calling us and tell us about, asking us about what are some of the requirements for the minibus. I know there's a COVID regulations. The 15-seater minibus, how many persons are supposed to be in it, and what are the drivers and the conductors supposed to be doing? Are they supposed to be providing sanitizers? What does the regulations say?
Yes, definitely. The regulation is very clear under the COVID-19 regulation that the drivers and conductors should be providing sanitizers. Even if persons don't have masks, they should have in the bus that they can assist basically now. Because every person that enters into the vehicle should be sanitized before they enter, and they should be wearing a mask. The code regulation where it comes to numbers of persons in the vehicle, it was done for 75%, but it's up back to normal where the buses are carrying 3 persons in a seat. But we still experience some problems because passengers from time to time would complain as to how drivers would treat them and how they would go on in this COVID-19 pandemic. And we have seen it from our campaigns and exercise carrying out. And what we find, and I want to, as we're on this here, I want to allude to passengers of vehicles. Please do not get into public transportation and don't wear a mask, because if you do get into public transportation and you don't wear a mask, we will stop the vehicle and you're not having on the mask, we'll prosecute you. And we will also prosecute the driver because he's the sole controller of the motor vehicle. And it is his responsibility to make sure that every person wears a mask for the safety of other persons.
Great, and I like that. Let me ask you then: have we been seeing a lot of cases of drivers being prosecuted? Minibus drivers, tire car drivers, taxi drivers.
Definitely. Yeah. We have a lot of them. Some of them have even pulled themselves together, but we have prosecuted a lot of them as even as early in the week, launching of road safety was Sunday with the church service, and on Monday, when the exercises started, we charged like over 15 persons that using public transportation, and some of the excuses that they were telling us that they don't know that they have to wear masks in a higher car, and they don't know. But I believe that the problem that we're basically having with some of the usage of the roadway is the culture of the people. They were
Right.
cultured one way, and I'm saying that when persons have values that are grounded within them, that they come from a home setting and they understand what the values are all about, you don't see them behave in a certain way. But some of these bus drivers and hire car drivers, they believe is that they just out there just to make money. They don't care how they make it. They don't concern about people. But we're there to put those persons to correction, to make them know is that we're not going to condone lawlessness on the roadway.
I thank you very much for that because I was about to raise that because there are many people who out there who believes that a lot of the police officers, that a lot of the police ranks are friends to these minibus people because of the way that they behave on the road. What kind of assurance could you give to the people, some level of comfort? Because over the years we would have seen lots of complaints about the culture. You talk about culture, Mr. Harper, about the culture of minibus people especially, and the way that they go about using the roadways and so. A truck driver called me about 2 3 days back, telling me that we should pay attention to them because they're the big trucks and the braking distance ain't that much. And when a man just pulls up in front of you, he says, we're working on the road. You got to be very, very careful. But these minibus just zip in front of you, and it poses a problem. But I really wanted to ask you about the assurance there, but you have addressed it there that, very little tolerance there for what has always been a cultural thing, it seems. But I'm really looking forward because next week I would probably want to bring back you, Mr. Harper, or anybody from the traffic department because the other thing that we'd want to talk about, people are complaining, people talk about what are some of the things. Maybe we have a few minutes, we could talk about it very quickly. You're driving in a vehicle, the police stop you. When should you go to the station? When can you refuse? Because the policeman, some tickets are, some offenses are ticketable. Could you refuse? Should you to wait on the ticket, or do you have to follow the policeman to the station? And could the policeman empty the
We try
minibus?
as much as possible to not to have passengers. Yeah, we try as much as possible not to involve in emptying of minibuses or cars basically now. But if we stop a minibus that is carrying 20, 21 passengers, we're not going to allow the minibus to continue with the offense, the continuity of the offense. And persons need to understand is that if you get into a public transportation that is carrying 5 and 6 passengers over the prescribed limit, is that you have to be prepared to face consequences because these are some of the same things that we're talking about. We're taking a different approach. We're trying to make sure is that we don't want to be stopping vehicles every day to ask them for documents. So we find that we make sure that in the morning we pay attention to traffic diversions and control of traffic, and we make sure that we manage our traffic situation during the day, by stopping persons, having a talk with them, to asking them to slow down on the roadway, pay attention, be attentive, be courteous, But yet still we see some of these minibus drivers believe that they're above the law. But I want to warn them at this present time is that no one is above the law. And if you believe that you want to drive public transportation, especially along the eastbound, and you don't want to comply with the compliances of the law, you will be dealt with according to the law.
Oh, great. Well, I like that. I like your kind of language. I want to ask you, there are going to be some minibus passengers or any other passengers or any other members of the public who are listening right now. And they may have a video or they may have a camera on the phone. Some people got a mango pelt. It can't happen. But I want to ask you if they take some pictures of somebody doing some crazy things on the road, any driver period, where could they send that information to?
Yeah, the information can be sent directly to the traffic chief, or if it's in that person's, our numbers are public up on the Facebook. All the different traffic officers and the commander can be sent directly to them if you want it to be in confidentiality. And we can have these matters dealt with. It has been happening, and we want it to continue along the way because, like I said, we can do nothing without the help of the community or of the public. And so long as they continue to help us along that, well, that's going to help our figures basically to go down. But if we just sit in errant vehicles and allow persons to drive along roadway with us, speed with us, consume alcohol with us, and then we say nothing. It's like you're just contributing to your own demise, basically. And then when you come into a dreadlock where you run into the law enforcement officers, a lot of persons have a lot of ill things to say. But these are the things that we're accustomed to. They happen every day. You understand? Ranks are being cultured differently, how to deal with members of the public. You understand? We want them to understand we're not upset, or we're not mad if when police are doing wrong things on the road, you take out your phone and you video like the Home Affairs Minister very clearly said is that if you recognize wrongdoings, you can video the police. You understand? We want ranks to be professional at all times, and we want ranks to carry out their duty with utmost respect to persons and with dignity for the organization in which we serve. But like I said, any driver, hire car, public transportation, believe that they are above the law and they want to take on the police in a way that is not right according to law, we will deal with them according to law.
How do you address Mr. Harper? Because obviously, I'm throwing these questions out to you because we're gonna have a little more structured sit-in when we come back. We're gonna bring you back and maybe even Mr. Ashram, who's the traffic chief. I want to ask you, what do you say to police ranks and so with issues of corruption, bribery, alleged, and I'm using the word alleged here because people on the road say all kinds of things, but there's two and three sides to every story, maybe even four sides. Well, how do you warn your traffic ranks and other ranks that is under you to deal with situations like that?
Well, corruption in this organization is a no-no. It's been spoken at, it's been put into policies from the highest level. And these are some of the things that our commissioners, our deputy commissioners, and ranks under us in briefing every day as ranks are briefed in parade before they actually go on the roadway. They are told that they should not involve themselves in corrupt transactions. This is something that the Home Affairs Minister is very disheartened about. He's saying that if persons are caught getting themselves involved in illegal transaction, he will deal with them accordingly, just as how a civilian will be dealt with. And we gotta also remember, and if there's not a giver, there will never be a receiver. So do not encourage yourself to give ranks money if you committed infringement. You committed infringement, go before the court and pay your fine. You understand? And do not want to adhere other ranks to get involved in corrupt transaction because you also can be prosecuted just like the rank.
I thank you very much for that. And so we tune into the Wake Up Guyana show here with Jorman Harper, Assistant Superintendent of Police with responsibilities for traffic on the East Bank of Demerara. Sir, in your closing comments, because we know that you're a very busy man, and I know that we also want to bring you back and engage you from time to time on various issues with regards to traffic, a big issue for us. Your floor, sir, and some few comments to the people of Guyana on Road Safety Week and whatever else you want to say.
Well, I'd like to say to all the persons that are using the roadway along the East Bank, we want to thank you first for your help that you have been helping us. We want to thank you for the support that you have been giving us. Your support is tremendous. We applaud you, and we want you to continue the same work in helping us to bring those errand drivers to justice. I can assure you is that if you bring any information to us, basically of persons using the roadway and driving in a manner dangerous to the public and committing any infringement, your information will be strict confidentiality, and we will make sure that justice is being served on your side of the law. Once again, I want to say thank you, people, to continue to supporting us along the East Bank. It's not easy, but we out there day after day, night after night, dealing with the traffic situation just to make sure that you get home safely and smooth along the roadway. So continue to do the good work, and we'll continue to support you.
Thank you very much, dear Mr. Jorman Harper. As usual, we'd want to invite you back to the show here, maybe sometime next week, anytime to come back, because there are so many other things that we have to talk about. Maybe we take the topics and we flesh them out and, to bring more awareness to the people of Guyana, some of the things that they can do to ease the traffic congestion and maybe even escape from what could be a surefire way of dying, because that is what it is. So thank you very much, sir, and have a pleasant rest of the day.
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. So we would have been tuned in there to Mr. Jorman Harper, Assistant Superintendent of Police, in charge of or with responsibilities of traffic on the East Bank of Demerara there, and it is Road Safety Week. We had to engage him with regards to some of the things that bothers us at the end of the day whenever we drive in, things that we see. And of course, he's very straight and very clear as to some of the things that he's thinking about, and some of the things that the police are thinking about as well. So it's just about 2 o'clock thereabouts, and it is our insurance time. And let me tell you that we have received news that soccer legend Diego Maradona, you can remember that very big football player back in the 90s and so on, the 80s, I think it's the 80s or 90s, would have really, really done well for the world of football. He and Peele and all of them brought football more to the fore. He's died at the age of 60, a very young age, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. I think the world of football or soccer is mourning at the moment. It's a fundamental time. Get your free coverage of up to $250,000 today. Full coverage with CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. at 121 Regent and or Knox Streets. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. Thank you very much for that. We're going to be taking a break. When we come back, let me tell you, make those calls to 226-7453, or you could text us on 6222222. We are going to be opening up our lines, and of course, we're going to be reading those text messages that you're sending to us about what is concerning you on the Wake Up Guyana show here.
Imagine up to $500,000 cash in your hand. Shop at Singer from now to December 21 and win your share of $2 million. Spend $20,000 or more and be one of 4 winners of $250,000 each. Plus, 2 lucky shoppers will each win $500,000. Get cash in your hand for the Christmas at Singer. With 6 months, no interest, and up to 36 months to pay. Singer at home worldwide.
Thank you very much, and welcome back to the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. We're coming to you live from our studio, and we're coming to you live also on 99.1 FM in Esquimalt, Demerara, 99.5 FM in Berbice. Wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, I hope that you're having a fantastic day, because it is a beautiful day out there, and because we have live, that's the most important thing. Things are looking up for us. Things should be looking up, because you should always have a very positive attitude. Every time that life knocks you down, get up and stare it in the face and says that I'm willing, I'm ready, I have the strength, I have the will to fight against you and do it a little better. And every time you fall down, do not look at it as a hurdle, as a challenge. Rather, you should look at it as a challenge, because it makes us strong as a person when we see those very hard things that happen to us. I'm so tough right now because of things that would have happened to myself over the years. One of these days, I'm going to tell you about the time that I got jailed. I was in jail for 16 days in another country because I was working at a newspaper and decided to talk a few things about the government. It is no secret. I would have written about it, but for the people who don't know me, it is a story that I would like to tell. Not ashamed of it, to say that I went to jail for 16 years. I won the case, the judge and so on, but that's a story for another day. But every time life throw curveball at you, make sure that you put yourself in the position that your feet are wide apart, so you could swing that baseball bat in a very strategic manner and be able to connect with that ball, because your position is something that is very important. Even in golf, even in cricket, your position, the way that you stand, it's all very important in the way that you would play your shots and play your shots of life. It is very important that you get yourself ready, position yourself all time. Do not allow yourself to be falling into that dark hole of depression because something happened to you. Things happen to us all the time. Should you give up? Should Gildarie give up? Should I say, man, it's not my job, that it is Rat's fault, it's Glenn Lyle's job, it's somebody else, let them do their work. For me, at the end of the day, I have my job, whether I feel like it or so. I've been having a very tough time the last couple of weeks of sleep. 3-4 hours sleep. I have so many things to do. I get up like in the middle of the night. If I go to bed like at 12, 1 o'clock every night. That's my normal time. I wake up about 3-4 o'clock. I have maybe I'm up another hour. Then I go back for maybe another 2-3 hours, and that's it. I get up and that's it. I'm back on the road again. So I tell myself that I'm still very, very young. My body could take it, but sometimes you feel like giving up. But you have to go. You get up and you do the same thing every single day. Try to change it up a little, because if you do the same thing every day and expect a different results, you're not gonna get anywhere. Change it up. Change your lifestyle. Have a different attitude. Take it. If the back door you're going through is not working, use the front door or the side door, jump through the window. Whatever it is that you need to do it differently. So thank you very much. Welcome to the Wake Up Guyana show here. We are going to be do we have a caller online? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. Let me turn on the street.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, this is Councillor McDougall again.
Hi, sir. Good day.
I didn't know you was an old OG.
OG. What's an OG?
OG's old gangster.
Oh, yes, I am always an old gangster. But I didn't go to thing because of a crime. I went there because of work permits and so on. When I talk to you about work permits and the need for our country to make some money through it, as well as get ourselves streamlined and very structured, it is because I would have seen, I lived in other places, I've seen it, I've experienced it, I paid the price for it. So I speak from experience here, but I would have been in jail for 16 days. 16 days, and never forget it. I came out with a beard. I look like one of those guys. I'm not sure.
Like a Taliban.
Yes. I don't want to call it anything. But go right ahead, Mr. McDougall.
What I want to bring to you today, that East Coast Public Road, is it complete around Pleasant going up?
There's a couple of things that the experts are telling me that are missing, road markings and so on. When it comes to the actual roadway in itself, based on the designs that were given to the contractors, my understanding, I'm choosing my words very carefully here, the designs that were given to the contractors would have fulfilled them. Maybe 90-something%. There's 1-2 things that they got to do with road signs. Traffic lights got to be working. I think 1-2 the traffic lights are working. But that's my understanding. But go ahead with the question.
What I observed, why I asked, is because I was on an approach to Georgetown Sunday, and I noticed around Pleasant where the road splits. Going to town, you're on the left side, and coming back east, you're on the right side, right? There is that split. Right to the split there, there's supposed to be a bulbous barricade. Or you could use them big yellow barrels that they have, like at the toll gates, to create an impact resistant if a vehicle was to hit it. But no, they don't have any kind of impact resistant mechanism there. It's just the solid concrete. If you happen to maybe ride off your lane or something, you're into that solid thing when you're supposed to be going into a barricade that's like a bulb, the bulbous shape.
Yeah. I'm going to I should be heading up there this weekend. I'm going to have a look and see what exactly. Which village is that really around the Pleasance?
Going up to Pleasance when the road splits to go to Georgetown.
All right, I'm going to have a look at it and pay attention, maybe take some pictures and see whether I could get some answers. But I can tell you that East Coast Road, you've got to be very, very careful. It's such a beautiful road, let me tell you, in terms of the drive on it. But there's some very tricky parts. If you don't know...
that's the next thing I was going to say. The road runs from 2 lanes into 1, and it's not good.
It's very tricky, and I feel a little weird on it. I like the road. Driving on the road is a pleasure, but the actual it feels a little weird weaving out from one lane. I'm not sure. I've got to pay a little more attention to it. Thank you very much.
People who live in that area and traverse that road every day, they know it.
Yeah.
But I'm in quarantine, and you don't really traverse that way every day, and it's risky, it's deadly, and there should be signs way ahead, like every half mile, 2 signs, half mile and a mile, that the road comes to a bottleneck. It
Or,
doesn't say anything.
all right, I'm going to take some pictures and have a study of the situation, maybe some comments afterwards. I thank you very much for that, sir.
You're welcome.
Good. All the way from Berbice there, Mr. MacDougall, a councillor. And I want to say good day to the folks all across in Region 6. I understand, based on the figures that are coming out, that there was a figure that's coming out there, a COVID-19 death. I want you guys to be very, very careful. You know, there's much love in my heart, not because you're Barbician, but for all my Guyanese people. And whenever I could see you, to tell you to be very, very careful. You know, you have to. We cannot afford to lose one of you. We cannot afford to lose one of you when it could be avoided. I always say if you could avoid something, try to avoid it, especially deaths and so on. We can ill afford that. You leave your family in grief, you leave them in expense, and it's not easy to do a funeral right now. It's a lot of money, and not only that, there's a financial fallout because if you're a breadwinner within that family, you know when we do things on the road, whenever we drive in, whenever we do things and take those extreme risks. We should all think about the little young ones who are there. We should think about our beautiful wives or handsome husbands there. That they are the ones who are going to be left alone because you have taken a chance. You should not be taking chances. Whatever you're doing, let it be calculated. Let it be the minimal of risk. Whether it's a business decision, whether it's driving on the road. Whether it's going to a place where there's a risk of COVID-19, whatever it is that you're doing, reduce those risks. Be smart. Be like Gildarie. Do not be stupid. And so we are going to be headed into some messages very quickly. Thank you very much. Leonard, namaste. Love and respect to all my Guyanese, my fellow Guyanese. Sir, I want to congratulate the government for addressing the trafficking of Haitians through our precious land. We cannot tolerate this type of behavior on our shores. It's clear that the last government was trying to use those individuals as a prop for more votes, but the efforts were in vain, coupled with the alleged printing of birth certificates in Miami. The Haitian dilemma continues because there's no moral leadership in that country since the country was divided into two countries. We Guyanese need to wake up, otherwise there's nothing left for generations, for the next generation, all the way from, I think maybe New York there, Mr. Derek Hawker. I want to say good day to you, sir. But let me tell you something. No country. You cannot have, I always say this, and a couple of people, my friends would laugh and they would call me back and says, you can say it better when you say how the tail wags the dog. You cannot allow a couple of people who want to make some money because you're doing a trafficking situation or you have a people movement operation that's being run, that everybody getting some money per head. Every Haitian that come here is a head. And you're making your money and you control. And Guyana gets absolutely no benefit for this, except that there's some jobs that are created. So people smuggling or people transportation think they use Guyana as a stepping stone. It benefits the entire Guyana. Yes, you're getting some traffic through the airport. What about the humanitarian side of things? These people are being, we saw some minibus stuck in the Linden, let them trail, and people walking there with a suitcase and things like that. You don't know what the women are going through. Are they being made a sex slave because you're there in transit? What about the kids? The kids are there, 7 kids, 8 kids. Don't have any relation to those people. What do they come here as? We don't have any kind of clarity. You got to be very, very careful about these things. As a developing country, you got to know who is coming to this country. And I don't care who it is that says, yes, you have a CARICOM agreement that allows people to transit and whatever. No, nonsense. You ask that to Trinidad and to Barbados and ask any country, whether, however dire the situation is when it comes to the economy. Nobody allows that to happen. You don't want to take care of a country. You don't want to know who's in your house. You don't want to know who's in your yard. You keep that in your yard. Do not bring it to my yard. My yard is Guyana. You take that to some other country. You're in the wrong country, sir or madam. This country here needs to move to the next level. We're moving to the next level very, very quickly. It means that we have to be very disciplined. We have to have rules and regulations. Without rules and regulations, there's going to be chaos. People are going to do whatever they feel like. The policeman is going to wagging the dog. Guess what? The politicians are going to be wagging the dog. And we could go on and on and on. You want to come back to the days when you used to line out for days for a passport? Do we want to come back to the days when our children would be going back to school, and it is happening here because of the pandemic, with very little to eat in the lunch kit. Let's improve our lives. Let's talk about our pensioners. Let's talk about households. Let's talk about 50,000 applications for house lots and turnkey homes. Let's talk about those things. Let's talk about the end to corruption, or a reduction in the corruption. Corruption can't end. Let's talk about our people culture being changed so they could, not think it's okay for you to pay a bribe. Wake up, smell the coffee. It's a wake up Guyana time. Wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, I want to say good day to you, folks. Let's see some other messages here. If you have increase in road fatality on these bank with motorcyclists and cyclists and pedestrians, why don't you do more enforcement in terms of the helmet, taillight, construction jacket, instead of fighting on people with tinted vehicle? Thank you very much for that. And there are always 2 and 3 sides to every story. Good morning to you and the whole again from Kevin Smith here. Okay, this is this morning. Somebody sent back. Hi, good afternoon. I have a issue on the Escobar coast. I have a guy by the name of so that runs a machinist workshop in Lima Public Road. He throws all his waste oil in counters at the side of his yard and very close to the fence. My complaint is every time the rain falling, the oil run over to the neighbor yard, the whole neighbor front yard. If you see, the concrete is black. The other thing is his 2 side neighbor, very old in the 70s and sickly. We tired of making report to the police at Anna Regina Station. They're not doing anything. This guy having his friend there last evening smoking, and if you hear the type of music, very loud. This situation here could be the complaints made to the EPA. And if you see, the EPA does not take these things into account. In fact, the EPA should have offices in almost every region for them to look after people. And what's happening to the sanitary inspectors? We know them as sanitary. We had a sanitary guy that lived next to us in Grove on the East Bank. These people are supposed to be the ones taking complaints, and it's not only there for a septic tank or drawing of a plan. It's supposed to be doing something. I want you to make a complaint, whoever this person is from Esquibo, make a complaint to the EPA in Sophia there, and let me know how it goes. Thank you very much for that. You tuned into the Kaieteur radio here on this is the Wake Up Guyana show, 226-7453. Do we happen to have a caller? Good afternoon, caller. You're in the air. Go right ahead. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you doing?
Is this?
Yes, it is Leonard Gildarie. You're tuned into the Kaieteur radio.
I'm speaking to Mr. Gildarie. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Oh, fine, thank you.
Yes.
I'm calling. Somebody take a...
No. You're in the air. You're in the air. We hear you clearly. You go ahead. Raise your voice and talk.
Oh, but I'm on the radio. Okay. Yes. I called to make this comment. To raise the pensions money to 5,000.
To 5,000?
GPL decided now that they're raising the light bill before January.
Where you saw that they decide to raise the light bill?
The light bill moved from...
Oh, they give you a bill is higher.
Yes, it gone
They've
higher.
been digging it up in everybody right across the country, including myself.
The tax come off.
Uh-huh.
The tax come off, but now they raise it, so therefore they can get more than the tax.
I don't understand what is it that they're doing, what formula they're using, but everybody's complaining about this high bill.
Yeah,
I've asked them...
yesterday.
Yeah, I asked them to find somebody to come onto the program. They didn't get back to me. You mean... I don't understand, and this is a state-owned company. Yes. They don't know how to talk to people.
I normally pay light bill like 8,000 something. Now it gone to 12 something. So
take a couple of them.
God, they give you $5,000, and now from the $5,000 you gotta pay extra light bill instead of you pay your tax.
All right, you have 2 options here: the PUC, Public Utilities Commission, or you have the PR department. The PR department of GPL, 225-1471.
225-1471.
Let them advise you how you could get some satisfaction.
Yes, but I want to say something.
Sure.
I want to say that, nobody don't win GPL.
No, but hold on. You see, I always believe that if you keep hitting on something, like the water hit a rock all the time, eventually it's going to wear that rock down. If all Guyana come out and start raising the voice against this madness that we call service, against the behavior of our politicians, about the police, about our authorities, our executive of the various utility companies, eventually they would get up and they would start smelling it. They're going to realize that their jobs are at stake. Because when the people come out and together, they're going to start. This is your thing. You have a lot of power, you know. You have a lot of power. And what we got to do, you have letters to the editors to the newspaper. You have the Public Utilities Commission. All these things are there to give you some benefit. And even you, if that fails, take out some pictures and put on Facebook and tag somebody in authority, the minister or somebody, and you would see how fast they would get on it.
Okay.
You
And,
you got to fight, man. You got to fight.
Okay. And one more thing. I don't know if I hear right. Here saying them say you don't got to take it.
If what?
Here saying them say you don't take it for truth.
Right.
But I overheard that the $25, the $25,000 thing, it cut off.
No, I'm going to tell you what I heard. Maybe we haven't come offline. I did speak to a couple of people this morning. I'm going to tell you what I heard, and I presume they're trying to work with it. They've been going around. So I'm going to address that very shortly.
Okay.
All right?
Because I hear that and I said...
No, they haven't
because
stopped it.
we
What they're
let
doing,
that
I think they underestimate the amount of money they got to pay out.
know.
All right. So I'm going to tell you a little about that in a short while.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And
You
so
have a good day.
yeah, you too, ma'am, and thank you for coming through. So let me tell you what is it that I heard this morning. I would have been trying to get some people to come onto the program here. Nigel Darmlal, I did speak to last evening, and he was up in the hinterland. So he says when he come back, he's going to be chatting with me. But let me tell you what I heard. So the government in September, the President Irfan Ali, made an announcement about $25,000 for each household across Guyana. A household is defined as a family, a husband, a wife, and children. So let's say there's a mother and grandfather, and they probably cook one side from the son and the daughter that's living there. That's two families, that's two households here. That's our understanding. The problem is, how does somebody who don't know you, what you're doing there, never met you before in their life, come to one house and sit there? They can't take your word like that. So this is how they decided that they were going to do it. They were going to come to the house, and whoever acknowledged that they're the house of the head of the household, give the $25,000 to the other person or the other family who claiming that they are another household. They fill out a pink form and then they come back to you. The problem that you have in the various areas is that the government put aside $4.5 billion for this exercise here, for the 10 regions. You do the math and you're going to see how much they need for every area. They left Region 4 for last because Region 4 has a major problem. And I'm going to come to that and tell you. What I'm being told right now is that they have run out of money and they have to go back to cabinet, and the cabinet is making a decision as to how they're going to get that money. Remember, there was an emergency budget. Whether they're going to, pass something, there's going to have to go to parliament or something. I'm not sure how they're going to do it, or whether they cut the budget from another ministry or some other areas and try to put some more money there. So don't forget, in addition to that, they're also doing the vouchers for the education per student of $4,000. So you could go shop, and the ministry would do something about that. But that's aside from that. So my understanding, bottom line of all that I've said there, is that my understanding is that they have run out of monies for this COVID-19. They're doing in areas. They're doing as much as they can, and they're going to go back to those areas. We have to get an official confirmation, but my sources within who are familiar with the situation, that's what they said. So I know that everybody is very impatient, that they want to get the money. You need to get your money in your hand. That's the situation. I can't force them. You could raise the issues, but the reality is that they are battling with it. Of course, comes along with that is some very dishonest persons who would have been working along with the teams in the various areas. Policemen allegedly even asking people for a little raise, or else they don't get the money, that they have ranks to pull. So, we are going to be continuing to raise these issues. But very quickly, before we go back to the line again, Um, uh, 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 Good afternoon, Leonard. I'm single and working alone. Kaieteur Radio made my day, and especially Wake Up Guyana show. Big up my Monrepo people. Thank you very much, dear. Monrepo people, what are you guys doing? Um, uh, uh, do you honestly think that these companies are listening to KMV? Have been addressing these issues over and over each day, and citizens are complaining. It seems as if nobody is caring. I thank you very much for that. Hi, Gildarie, you're doing a great job. So, what happens to the oil money? I'm not sure what happens to the oil money. Good question that you're asking there. Did Rat send me a message? Good afternoon. I'm about 6 feet. I'm not sure. Good afternoon to all of you. Keep up your good work. Love what you're doing. I love you guys too. It is always a pleasure being with you. Somebody sent, I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to have a look at it. Do we have another caller on the air there? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Leonard.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir.
I just have a few points to make to you.
Sure.
I need help. A calling already complained about a pig pen and Cornelius Ida back at the Christian church.
What is happening there?
There's a man mining pig.
Mining pigs. Yes, I did raise this issue on the air. What happened since then?
We went to the NDC. We get no result. We sent a letter to the EPA. No result. We reached the health official at region number 3. The guy is from Wikenham. No help.
What are these people saying to you when you said no help? Is it that they refuse?
They're going to look into it. They're going to come. They're going to look into it. There's a rainy season that's stepping in right now, and when it's rain, it stinks beyond stink. You cannot open your window. You cannot. You even can't leave the chairs at your house. Nothing. It so stinks. Believe me.
Could I ask you then to do a favor if there's a case? I'm not sure. When you went to the EPA, what was the EPA? Who did you speak to at the EPA, and what are they saying?
Well, there was like a few people write up a letter and sent it to the EPA. There was one gentleman who put in there, right? I didn't ask him who he speaks to.
All right, somebody need to follow up on that letter there. You need to either call the boss or somebody and follow up on that letter. You have to be persistent, meaning you call him up and says, "But I've sent you a letter. What happened to it? Do I need to? When do you want me to call back?" This is how you deal with it. I sent you a letter last week. You want me to call back on Monday or Tuesday, and that's how you get them. Every single day you got it on them. It takes 5 minutes out of the thing. You need to get them. You need to put it on to them, and you says, "I'm going to send it to the radio station, or I'm going to call. I'm going to write a letter to the radio, and I'm going to name you because you're the one that's looking into it." Don't be scared. These people are being paid to do a job.
And another thing, there's a rotten lantern post in front of my house.
There's a what?
A rotten lantern post.
Yes.
2 years ago, GPL came, they stick a new post alongside of it and they strap it on. Right? There was a street light right there on the post. GPL official and they come and take the lights off, screw the bulb off. When the neighbor asked them what they're doing, they said they're going to replace back the bulb. Almost 2 years now, the whole street corner there is in dark because they steal the bulb and they cannot replace it until now.
Well, I mean, for 2 years back, you won't be able to find. I think these are private contractors or something.
No.
GPL?
This vehicle marked GPL on it. It's a yellow pickup.
Maybe you could call 225-1471. This is GPL PR department. I'm gonna put these different departments to work now because if they're not coming onto the program, I'm gonna have the people go to them. So if they can't come to the program will send the people to them. It's very, very simple. I think.
Here's the service that they're giving you.
Yes, it is. I agree with you.
2 years, the plants are posed right next to the old one. And it's going bad and worse. It's going worse.
Right.
Every time rain fall and the breeze blow, you get fireworks because the wire them lean and they hang and they're growing off on each other.
225-1471. Call them, make the complaint.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. I want to say good day to the west coast of Demerara people there. Region 3, they call them the west side people. I hope that you guys are doing fine today. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. It's a beautiful area to take a nice drive on a Sunday all the way to Perico. very scenic area, lots of farms there. So it is just about 2:30. For a very long time, I've seen a very strange attitude coming from W areas. There was a time he was very happy coming to the program here, sitting down. Lately, he walks through the door, walks through the door, goes to his things. I'm not sure. One day he plugged me out from down there, but it's all right. I'm a very good man, very patient. Hi, I want to know about the inmates in the hold in bay. The prison service is doing anything about the inmates. It's overcrowded. They have a big issue with the inmates and the overcrowding and the escapes. I think the prison officers here are overwhelmed. This system here, I think it's a powder keg. It's an explosion waiting to happen there, because when you have so many people of different places with different crimes, and you have gangs and everything there, and in a situation where there's very limited prison officers, and so yes, you have a thing, the joint services station have a permanent presence in that area there, in the Lusignan area there. But they haven't really built any new facilities since that fire on Camp Street. It is an issue that we really have to look at. Hi, good afternoon to you, my brother. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm having a couple of questions. Why is GPL ripping off the poor people? My next question, why every government official busy and not helping the poor people? They're talking about having meeting overseas. These people need to take care of the country. My next question is, how can government official buy 30 million, 20 million land, and when the people can't even afford to buy $1 million land? You know, is this fair or not? I thank you very much for those questions, and these are the kind of questions we need to ask our people. We cannot, just allow our people to do what they feel like, and just, allow some kind of foot dragging here. Hi, Mr. Gildarie, good day, and this is Gildarie now. I'm just reading it as a send it to me. Good day to you, doing a great work, and congratulations. Thank you very much for that. Yes, it's a pleasure serving you guys. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. How many persons are allowed in a private car, including the driver? The insurance has 5 persons, taken in consider the COVID-19 situation. Well, according to them, I think they have relaxed it. You could go into the car with your mask and so on. Make sure that you're going into your mask is sanitized, and so that's a very good question there. I'm going to try to get some more clarity on that. Good afternoon, Leonard. Plenty private hire cars stint up working. Private cars stint up working at the Perica police station, doing nothing while police knows about them. Thank you very much. So this is what the people are saying there about the Perica police station. I want to say good day to you. It's time to big you guys up. They're saying a lot of private cars, but not only there. You have the Vredenop police station and so many other places. You have all the police stations across Guyana. And you know the private cars now, you don't want to take bread out of people's mouth. But every time you travel with a private car that does not have an insurance, and you're working at private hire, and if that car gets into an accident, you, the people, don't get anything. You're not entitled to anything. So, I want to say to you, you have to be very, very careful. Do not travel with a private car. That's the first thing I'm going to say to you. Second thing I'm going to say to you, it is the traffic officer just now, Mr. Harper, Jeremy Harper, who was on the radio program here, who says that when you enter a minibus, and you know that they're breaking the laws there, and wearing a mask, and you do, it's overcrowded, and the policeman stop you, and they empty that bus there. You can't complain that the policeman emptied the bus. You went into the bus and it had 30 people inside when it's a 15-seater minibus. You are the idiot. That's what the policeman is saying, and these are very harsh words to use, right? I know that you want to go home, but guess what? At the end of the day, do not do anything that's going to endanger yourself. Do not do anything that's going to give the policeman them an excuse. If you want to do the right thing, stay out of trouble's way. Stay out. Stay your car, as the old people would say. So it is. Let me see what is happening. Is it November? Today's November 24th or 25th? 25th. Okay, good. So we are going to be hitting to the lines. We are going to be hitting a break right now. It is about 2:35. When we come back, more calls, more text messages, 6222222. Send those messages, and also you can call us 226-7453. A break now. We come back, and then we head to the home stretch.
Nice up your home for Christmas at Singers. Spend $20,000 or more between now and December 21st and be one of 4 winners of a Singer 55-inch Ultra HD television. Singer at home worldwide.
Imagine up to $500,000 cash in your hand. Shop at Singer from now to December 21 and win your share of $2 million. Spend $20,000 or more and be one of 4 winners of $250,000 each. Plus, 2 lucky shoppers will each win $500,000. Get cash in your hand for the Christmas at Singer. With 6 months, no interest, and up to 36 months to pay. Singer at home worldwide.
Yes, thank you very much and welcome back to the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. I'm all excited. It is a beautiful day out there and we're coming down, unfortunately, to the last stretch of the Wake Up Guyana show here. It is about 2:36 or so thereabouts and we happen to have a caller there. There's a call in line. Yes, good afternoon, caller. You in the air. Go right ahead.
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie.
Good afternoon, sir.
I got an issue to raise, man. You see those this police cyclists that is be up and down Regent Street?
The police cyclists, those ones on the bicycle? Yes.
These guys, them taking a lot of bribes, man.
Explain to me, did anybody take any pictures?
Well, now I'm bringing it to John Public because video and take pictures.
All right, and they attached to the Brickdam station or to the city council?
Breakdown.
To the Brickdam station?
Yeah, they got a little booklet thing and they play the taking on your name and address and they're telling you that the issue with a summons. And if you pay something, you have to get these summons. And that sort of thing I see, and mostly they are harassing the female drivers.
And so...
You know, the guys then would answer them word for word, but the female now would end up paying up.
Every day you're saying this along the Regent Street area there?
Yes, every day, every goddamn day.
It's 2 men or they got more than 2 men there?
They're working with team. Police is working with team, man.
No, meaning it's 2 set of people there all the time or they get different people?
Different sets of people, different sets. They're moving trees and tools.
All right, here what you're going to do for me. I'm going to raise this matter here with the commander at Brickdam.
Yeah.
And what I want you also to do, if you know anybody that's in that area, let them start videoing these things so we could be able to put them up. I like to give them the big up.
Yeah.
Let's big them up, right?
And next thing these police, I seen they're supposed to be setting the examples and they're not.
Yeah, right.
I see this driving.
No, but you need to help us too, right? To make sure that you take these pictures. Let us get these videos so we could give them. We want to give them a very nice Christmas.
I see they driving with phone and you know the minute they think and the next thing is to raise. I mean, these young police officers, I don't know where they get in this from.
Right.
The shiniest right. The most dark thing.
Yeah, it is.
They had a law when come out, they was investigating how you make them.
Man, y'all got these things here. Just whenever you pass them by the police station, whenever you see them, so just take out pictures like crazy. Send 62222. I'm having a ball right now. I think it's exposure time.
Even the front windscreen, the tint into, and they're supposed to set example.
Yes, it is.
You know, if you got a little box of food and put on your dashboard, they want to charge you and say, but you're obstructing.
Oh, the obstructing line aside because, but
but they think they're not obstructing.
All right, I hear you.
When you want to get a little joke is when the rain fall, man. You see how the windows is winding quick because they can't see.
Oh, okay. All right, I hear you, my brother. We heading on.
It's dark and they can't see. When the rain falls, then you get to see who actually in the car.
All right, must send me those pictures, right?
It's calling vampires, man.
Oh, yeah, they're vampires. Good cops and bad cops.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Have a good day, right?
Yeah, you too.
Thank you very much. So vampires on Regent Street there, that's what one of the callers would have been saying there. And they're saying that those policemen riding around on the bikes, those bicycles, so there's a crop as can be. They look as if they're writing down in the books, and this time they're writing a note and pass. I'm not sure. Are they writing a note? I got to go down Regent Street and try to commit some crimes here, meaning not commit crimes like rob people, but, you know, just driving and do some traffic thing. And let it come up to me, man, and have my dash cam or something working. I have a dash cam on the other car. Got to put on one on this car. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to drive. And we're going to go down there and we have the cameras rolling and do something and see what happens. Are you going to take a bribe? Let's put it to the test case maybe. Glenlal, where are you? You need to give me some time off so we could do some, Riaz, you update my brother? Yeah, no, let's do it, man. We got to start opening these things here and start shaming some people. When you want to harass people and you want to you don't want to do your job. If you find somebody else you find somebody breaking the law, give them a ticket. Do whatever you have to do. Don't take the people that money. What's wrong with you? Shame on you. And guess what? Um, Uncle Guyana is watching. The cameras are all time rolling. Always remember that. If you believe you're gonna take it through your backhand or tell them, please stick it in my back pocket or something, somebody got a camera across the road that watching it. You always remember that. Always pretend that that's happening because that's the only way that you would know. So right about now, let me see what is happening with regards to some of those messages. Yes, we do happen. Hey, can you save GPL doing disconnection? GPL always doing disconnection. They want the money. Hi, can you save? Okay, let me see. Hi, good afternoon, Leonard. I saw in Kaieteur newspaper an article explaining Gaisuko is to buy 40 plus Kamiko tractors at $30 million a piece. These machines were tried before in the late 80s and they failed. They're too heavy for the cane beds. What is needed is crawler type tractors. It takes a lot of explanation. It takes a lot of more explanation, but simply very effective. If there's a case like the GPL truck, what become of that case? Thank you very much. GPL said I think they were able to bring down the number, the price on it. But yes, I understand somebody walked away with money. Our job is to skin them up. What we gotta do is start carrying the faces in the paper. This executive does that. This policeman do so. Riaz do so. Raj did so. Glendale did so. Not Gildarie. Gildarie don't do things like that. Very good boy. Hi, good afternoon. I listen to your program every day. Not one person calling to talk about the animals. And I'm an animal lover. It's sad to see what people are doing with their animals, Guyana. They really need a law for animal cruelty. Please raise this issue. I'd be grateful. Thank you very much for that. It's always good. Maybe I bring some animal lovers, animal rights activists back onto the show here. And it's always good. I have 3 dogs. I don't able with none of them more. I don't even have cats. I don't want to keep cats. Cats would come around and the dog would chase them. But I love those 3 little dachshunds looking things, short foot dogs. I don't think there's any more vicious dogs than them, but they're such. They look at you with such love in the eyes and they come around you and they're so loving. All you got to do is give them some food. And if you have any love in your heart as a human being and you have these animals there as pets, know that they're going to protect you. So you need to start protecting them. Noise, fireworks. You need to treat them the same way that you're treating your children or your mom or your dad or somebody. Not for those people who are treating the mom and the dad bad. But you have to pay attention. Animals, they have rights too, you know. Not only that, it's as good as human beings that we understand that animals have feelings too, that they really suffer when we do things to them. So, where is Denelli, your co-host? Denelli is not here anymore. She did fall sick, and she does decide to just stay home. I miss Denelli. I think Denelli is working somewhere with the Ministry of Education there. I do miss her too. My brother, the president and the vice president need to come on your show and answer some of the questions. These people are hiding. People put them in office and they don't care about the people anymore. Good afternoon, Leonard. I would like to know if the $25,000 still distributed in Region 5. What's bothering me is that the 17-year-old can have their ID card so they can go and work to be on the road smoking and robbing people. Something needs to be done about that. I'm not sure what this is really saying there. 38. Hi, Mr. Gildarie. The SQ about the high car driver still charging the consumer high fare. One particular car, HC8963 from Saudi to Suriname, $400, and that happened today. HC8963. I want to say good day to you, sir. The people complaining that you're charging them too much. You got to calm yourself down. You got to do things a little better than that, man. You got to be a little more, human in the way you do things. Yes, we have a lot of expense, but people struggling, and we gotta try to help us people, in Guyana. A pleasant good afternoon to you, brother Pablo. Loving all the shows always. You deserve a significant bonus this year for job well done.
What? Hey.
There's a comment there by Riaz. He heard bonus I didn't read this. This is what the people saying. This is what it's saying here. I hope Glenn is listening. Keep up the good work and stay safe. God bless. I think I really love this person here. That's my friend here.
I don't know that you do.
Leonard, wish all your American listeners and supporters a happy Thanksgiving. A happy Thanksgiving to those folks across there. I hope that you're having a blessed day. That today's Thanksgiving is tomorrow. I want to say, I want to apologize on behalf of the American people in advance to those turkeys, but I hope that you have a blessed day. It's a big day, almost as big as Christmas. A lot of people would be gathered around the family. So, a lot of Guyanese also celebrate it. It becomes, when you live in another country, it becomes part of that. Good afternoon, Leonard. Whenever a person dies, a family member have to pay for the body to be cut. Why do we have to pay? I honestly feel for the poor people who can't afford these ridiculous fees. I don't know anything about this. If you have to do the post-mortem or so, there's some fees, or is that automatic?
From what I know, families get to pay that.
I have to find out a little about that. I know there's a state pathologist. I'd have to find out that. I don't know. Good afternoon, Leonard. Keep up the good works. Have a blessed day. Thank you very much for that, my dear. Hi. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Let me see. Have we missed anything there? Yes, very quickly, coming on to 246. Hi, good afternoon, Leonard. Please do not say or disclose my name, number, or information about me. I want to tell you about the drug addict from the Variety Loss. He's causing abusing the people in his home, neighbors, and poor people, little girl, children every day. He says he got policeman friends at Suriname police station, so he cannot get locked up. Suriname, your name, Carlin. And I think this the people that sent on 23rd. Cussing the people. So Suriname, the man there living in the Brides Lost area, the people complaining. And the father, the scores too, and the disturbing neighborhood whole day from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. in the night. Please read this message 3 or 4 times so the public will know. I'm not sure. And the Suriname police station, the people say some guy named Cabra, I'm not sure it is, in the Brides Lost area, disturbing the people and doing all kinds of things there. So, I come to a point now where I don't like keeping back these things. You need to bring it out. This is a people show. This is a Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. We have just a few minutes. So we have another caller online. Good afternoon, caller on the air. Go right ahead. Hello. Hello, good afternoon, caller. Okay, unfortunately, we would have missed that caller there. We're coming on to program time. It is Wednesday, middle of the week. Those people who believe in lotto, you should buy a lotto today because this afternoon is going to be the drawing of it. But it's coming on to Christmas. What are you doing for Christmas? Are you guys playing Christmas carols in this radio station? Every single day, Riaz comes on. If it's not Chatney Bacchanal or something or the other. You got what's the other one now? Gunga Ghana, I think that's it. You guys got to play something else, man. Play some Jim Reeves. I mean, soul. You see, it's Jim who he's asking. You guys know Jim Reeves. I remember my grandfather, a little Chinese guy. My grandfather was Chinese guy from Enmore there. And he loves his, I think it's Spencer Davis. Spencer Davis. Please help me, I'm falling. I don't know. I had to try something. Jim Reeves. I grew up with Jim Reeves. There was this guy Eddie Grant, Electric Avenue, and we. Yeah, I know they didn't have those kind of music there. Neil Diamonds and so on. So you bring back some memories there. Coming forward, Diana and all those kind of things. You guys don't know all the Neil Sedaka song. Yeah, Neil Diamond is good. I like Air Supply. I like Journey. I like a couple of those. I like 80s music. I'm not sure. Okay, he says to 12 o'clock, and somebody is talking Marty Robbins, Charlie Pride, etc. You guys know about these things here. Inti Muhammad and Karen Smith and everybody there. You guys know about it. So, I mean, at the end of the day, this is your show, right? We have to talk about these things that make us happy, things that make us Guyanese. And if you have never stolen your neighbor's falcock or the hen, those red fowls that run across the place, and next thing the neighbor looking at you suspiciously, they know that you've cooked the pot, but they can't find the feathers because you're slick. You've had good exposure. You've had good experience where you dump the feathers whenever you thief the fowl. And talking about thief fowl, Raj, do you know about thief and fowl? Rats doesn't know. You better learn it very quickly. It's a Guyanese thing. It's a Guyanese culture thing. Everybody in the countryside know about thief and somebody fall, thief and the neighbor, mango and things like that. So wherever it is that you're from, wherever you join us, I hope that I made you smile here today. It's a beautiful day. It's a good day. It is a day to to make you understand that we could make this country into something that is very, very good, that is great, that everybody could look at us and say, that is a country that I want to go to, that's a country that I want to become a citizen. And we have people come in here now that look as if something is looking up, but we need structures, we need systems, we need strong people. We need people who are not afraid to wake up and stand up there and say things that are unpopular but are right. If you could say you could say the right things and you could be very unpopular, because you're saying the right thing. But the crowd doesn't want you to say it because you're upsetting the apple cart. But if you're the only one that is standing up and saying the right thing and you got to be unpopular, say it, do it. And so this is one. Let me see what the not text. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. I want to thank you for doing a good job. I'm from Linden. My concern here is if the government drop the taxes from water, while you still have to pay the $500, you have to pay your water bill plus the $500. I don't know if you'd be able to say anything of this. Thank you very much. Of course, I said it. I want to say thank you very much to the people of Linden there. I know many of you are tuned in, though I'm not sure if you're able to get signals still up there, but definitely onto the Facebook, Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, or Kaieteur Radio live stream. We coming to you also, Kaieteur News online, and there's an icon there, the radio icon. You could click on it, and you could get your favorite newspaper there, as well as your radio there as well. So we come down, of course, got a few minutes more. Could we take a call right now? Good afternoon, caller, you on the air. Hello, good afternoon, you on Kaieteur Radio.
Hi, how are you, Leonard?
Pretty good, sir. Pretty good, sir. Go right ahead.
Hello?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I would like to respond to that call that spoke about the bribing of in connection with the policemen and stuff like that.
Yes.
If you have not committed a crime, why do you have to bribe the policeman? I mean, here in the States where I live, right, you don't try that nonsense at all because you're playing with jail time. I could remember years back before I came to the States, I was coming out of Everest cricket ground from a cricket match. I think it was on under 19 cricket. Because I backed up into the bridge to turn around, the policeman was trying to bully me and was like, drive to Brickdam. I said, okay, I'm going to drive to Brickdam, but not with you in my car. You don't have a right to enter my car.
Right.
And I refused to allow him to come into my car. My point is that you don't sucker yourself to these guys.
No, but I think it comes back. You raise a very fundamental issue there, which is what the policeman was saying not too long ago. If you don't do anything, do not put yourself. Make sure that all the tail lights are working, all the lights are working, that you have everything there, that you have all the documents and everything. If you have that, nobody.
Even if it's not.
Huh?
And even if it's not, if your tail lights are working or you have an infraction on your car, all the police has to do is to give you a ticket.
Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point.
To take you down to the...
Right. So I think what we got to do.
I think we as citizens are contributing more to these bribery crimes that they're complaining about.
Yes.
I have never bribed a policeman in Guyana.
No, and that's a very good point that you've made there. If you don't do anything, you're not going to think, every day, if you don't speed, the people are not going to clock you for speeding. So I think you have.
Tell you what. I mean, I know you have been to the States and stuff like that, but you haven't lived over here. If a policeman stopped me right now, I'm driving here as I speak to you. I have a Bluetooth on, by the way, so I'm not breaking the law.
All right.
And he pulled me over. The policeman will approach me, hi, good afternoon, sir. May I have your license and your registration, please? You hand them. They check you, and if they find nothing on you, they allow you to go. Even if they found something on you, they'll just give you a ticket and said, sir, get this fixed, or you'll have to appear in court or whatever. Right?
Thank you very much for that. And so I think it's a matter of education or back out to our people again.
Yeah, the professionalism is so lacking in Guyana as far as the police are concerned. And again, I'm going to reiterate my earlier sentiment. is that we, as the citizens of Guyana, have contributed tremendously to the bribery taking, and the police are enjoying it. So it will never stop. I've heard people say, oh, the police are being underpaid. If you give a policeman $1 million a month, they will still take bribery because it become a
You
culture.
hit the nail on the
Sadly,
head
it has
there.
become a culture.
You hit the nail on the head. There's another thing that I must tell you too, which is that the people get the government that they deserve. So if you want a government who's going to lift the bars, the people are going to demand that government. If you want a government that's corrupt, you're going to get that government. Because the people demanding the government, they vote the people in. So it's very, very true.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. We've come down to
Absolutely. I'm
program
glad
time
that you,
here. We've come down to program time. I really appreciate you calling us all the way from overseas. We're overseas.
I'm in Queens.
In Queens. Thank you very much. I know Queens.
I know you visited me years ago because you stayed at my friend by the name of Shah Ali.
Oh, yes. Shah is my very dear friend right in New Jersey there. And I do intend to go by him, but I tell you, COVID is a bad thing.
We're from the same neighborhood back home.
That is industry on the East Coast.
Yep.
Thank you very much, sir, and thank you for calling in, my brother.
All right, Leonard, take care. And I know that it's not Thanksgiving in Guyana, but it is tomorrow in New York. It's a happy Thanksgiving to you from all of us over here.
Thank you very much, dear sir, and have a pleasant rest of the day. So I want to say a good day to our overseas viewers, listeners. I know that you've been in with us day in, day out. It's been many months now? Since March. And, you've stayed with us. You've been with us every single day. It's such a lovely thing to hear from you. To interact and see the messages and so on, the words of encouragement as we come down to program time. I want to wish all the persons in the United States and wherever you are who's celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow. Lots of Guyanese are living there. So they have adopted some of the cultures over there. It's part of the system, and so they will be enjoying themselves, spending time with the family. I want to say good day to you and make sure that you enjoy yourself. Meanwhile, across in Guyana, wherever you join us from, thank you as usual. Stay safe, make sure that you wear your mask, make sure that you sanitize, make sure that you understand that you have rights. Do the right thing, do not break the laws. Make sure that if you're entering any vehicle or you own a vehicle, do everything according to the books. Do not do anything. Do not give anybody excuse. If you want to be security conscious, make sure that if you go into the banks, that you always have your eyes peeled, that there's always going to be presumed that somebody is watching you. Keep your guard up and make sure that you do the right thing. Do the right thing. We're not saying that we should always be expecting that there's going to be a robbery. What we're saying is that you have to take care. If you don't take care of yourself, nobody is going to do that. And so it is your responsibility. It is our responsibility. This is our country. We could make it a better place. So I want to say thank you very much for being with us. If you have now joined us, you could relook at this program here on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. This is your host, Leonard Gildarie. This would have been your edition of the Wake Up Guyana show on Kaieteur Radio. Have a pleasant rest of the day.